Hello everyone. Good morning.
Hello everyone. Good morning.
Welcome to another live trading session. Seems that everything is fine, sound-wise, and so on. Well, you are already used to this live trading session, so I will skip all the blah blahs, let's say. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello everyone. I think I'll give it 1-2 minutes before we start because I want to start with monthly, weekly overviews, and then we can hop on to low time frame. Um, Last night we already had a setup being played out here. You can observe. It was the setup, honestly, which I was waiting for, but it was 4 a.m. and I didn't have the chance to take it. We had a SS short, take profit hit around here, depending on how you targeted the standard deviation. But if you go with the 2, yeah, we didn't had one. So the uptrend is still there. The uptrend is still there. We had the standard deviation 1 tapped. Hello, good morning. So I'll go over what we can play, what we can trade, what are my plans on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. And yeah, made my coffee, and we can start. So if we take a look on the weekly time frame, we can observe the fact that we are still below this main pivot low, which represents the previous low. Yeah, the previous pivot low, main pivot low, which created a new intermediate high, and then we created a lower low. So this pivot low is really important for the price action. Structurally speaking, when we have a downtrend, in which for the moment we do have one, most of the times the price will just tap that one and reject. All right. So we are still below that one. Macro speaking, still pointing to the downside. The impulsive wave is here. This is the impulsive wave that we observe. We had sort of an AB equals CD to the downside from this pivot to this one. Incomplete, but there. And now this is a corrective wave. That's why, for example, yesterday I posted and I asked people, ask yourself, is this an impulsive or corrective wave? And also, a lot of people started being annoyed by the fact that I shorted here and I'm shorting here in this area. Well, you tell me, what should one do? Because if previously I would have done the same and follow public in these previous areas, then I would have not made money, because in the same areas everyone was screaming breakout and everyone was screaming that the breakout is imminent. And well, you see how it ended up. And yes, I did manage to short all these stops, and I did manage to take longs at the range lows. If you go on my timeline, whenever I see the range lows coming in, you see me hunting longs. So it's not that I'm bearish or anything like that. I really don't care for that aspect. But the thing is, you cannot look for longs here. Low time frame, yeah, you can. And I will show you the situations. I made some plans here on low time frame. This one got invalidated because of the channel, the downtrend channel, it's out. Yeah, let's delete it. And what we can observe is that they create even more equal lows in the 61.8 here. So this is the area, because you would ask yourself, well, he's not hunting longs, he's hunting only shorts. No, that's wrong. I really don't care for longs or shorts. I care about making profits, and you already should know that by now. but you need to follow me for a long period of time. For example, here it's a major long that I want to take at 70,000, 69,800, something like that. But until there, I want to see a sweep of these equal lows at 73,300. That's the area where I want to take the longs. Yeah, I've been front run yesterday. Nothing I can do. It's the cost of doing business. Not all the time you're going to catch the setups, but play with what we have. And no, it wasn't an easy trading week. Previous one. Sipping the coffee. Bear with me, thank you. It was quite an annoying month. April, honestly, with all this fluff and everything that we had. There have been quite some good setups that I managed to play out. Just one example, for example, FET here. But overall, it was not that easy and straightforward of a month. So let's get back to Bitcoin. Low time frame. Yeah, if you would ask me, I would still look for shorts around 77,000. The gap, it's closed at 77,000 on CME futures. So it's exactly the area where I'm looking to hunt short setups. All right. I think everything is all right now. The audio and so on. I want to make sure before we start deep diving. And by the way, if you want to put requests, I'll take chart requests starting now, and I will start going through your altcoins and so on. If you have a request, go and put them on the Twitter comments, and I will take them from there. Let's say Atom, Fetch, Injective, whatever you'd like me to chart, just go. Type in the comments the altcoin or whatever you'd like to have charted, and let me know. All right, but put in the comments, because otherwise I will lost it in the chat. And also put the time and effort towards activity, like and retweet. It helps a lot. Okay, so if we look at Spaceman Bitcoin levels, which I'm mainly interested in, is the previous month high and the previous week high pivots. Those are the two pivots area. Let me put everything in a folder and explain to you why they are so important and how we should play them. 1 hour setups. What the heck? All right. There you go. Okay. So even if you want to simplify the overview here, you can do that by cutting out the noise, and then you can focus on the high ones. Like, yeah, there you go. And what we can play here, for example, on Bitcoin, it's something like this. Once we get past previous month high, there is quite a good probability for the price action to tap the mid-range between previous month high and previous week high, which would be around here, 78.6 fib if you take the pivot high to pivot low, and then go back below the weekly low, the weekly open. So that's how I usually play the ranges. It's a big range. Let me show you between these highs and the range lows. Yeah. And usually my main setups are occurring always with a fib level. I never trade without a fib level. So that's why I saw a lot of people being mad about the fact that I don't know, we lost the trade or we lost the long here. Well, if the setup is not there for me, if my level was front run, I will not chase it. I'll simply wait for the next boss to come, and nothing I can do. Because if you are breaking your plans, you will create a bad habit. You will create a bad habit, and you create a precedent for that bad habit. And more than that, you will generate a behavior in your brain that you will make it think that by doing mistakes and not following your plans, you'll be profitable. And then you'll have no chance. So basically, yeah, my level was front run. I was waiting for a sweep of this pivot low into this breaker area. And I was aiming for a long from this area, from SFP of this pivot low. I could have catch a nice risk to reward trade here, something like this, into the 78.6 or 61.8 after the bearish retest. All right, something between these lines. All clear? So it's not my fault that my fault would have been the fact that, okay, the price came here, it reclaimed, and then I didn't do the setup. That would have been a mistake. But as long as my plan says, okay, wait for the price come to you, and then you can trigger your long, then you will have all the reasons to take that specific setup, but not without the proper triggers and the proper planning. As for here, I'm looking for shorts, as I mentioned earlier. By the way, this setup is still valid, all right? So this setup over here is still valid. I'll take it. If the price will give it, I'll take it. 1 second. Bear with me 1 minute. I want to get another link of the YouTube session, but I was having an error because I want to, okay, retweet. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Posts aren't loading. No, they should load. There you go. Okay, so are you bullish or bearish? I'm none of those. I don't care about bulls. I don't care about bears, honestly. I care about making money. People who are thinking in bias terms, they will not make money in these markets. All right. So as long as we sit above previous month high, there is a good probability for us to reach the 61.8. This main area, 78.6, 70.6, sorry, which is sweet spot, and it's basically the POC of this little M top range here. You can see, which wasn't retested. All right, so I'm looking forward to retesting this breaker block area here. That also has a good confluence with Ethereum, which I will point you out right now. We're going to get into that one. My highest probability setup would be at the previous week high, because usually when you get a previous week high setup, that's a very, very high probability one. It weighs a lot of weight towards, I usually go with 1% in these setups because they are occurring rare. You can have one at 2 weeks or something like that. So you don't have them too often. And the risk to reward, it's absolutely great because if we get a 61.8, the SFP of this pivot low, we can end up with an 8R or even more if we go to the previous week low. So this is my main area to be going in a short if I get my triggers based on my plan. Then if I go on Ethereum, we have a way clearer setup on Ethereum than on Bitcoin. And why I'm saying that, because if we look at the previous month high location, I wanted to get a clean chart here. If we get the previous month location, we can see it's exactly in the previous breaker area, and it's sitting as a key horizontal. So previously we had multiple rejections on that previous month high. Put that in confluence with the fact that we broke the structure to the downside on a high time frame, like 4 hours. Here we can observe we broke the structure to the downside, and here also. Yeah, we have a confirmation of a breakdown. So most likely what I'm targeting, like a very high probabilities, are these equal lows at the previous week low, sorry. So that is a pretty good risk to reward trade for me. And once the price gets back at 2,400, I'm looking for shorts, but there is a probability I'll be front run, yeah, all the time. And what I'll do on that in that regard is that most likely I'll be looking for this channel to get invalidated so I can get sort of an LJ short. I'm waiting for this ascending channel to have an end and then short. Now you can say, well, why don't you long if we have an ascending channel? Yeah, because usually I like my entries at a deep discount or deep premium, depending on if I short or long. And in this moment in time, if I would like to long Ethereum, it would only be from a position of deep discount in this area. And also, if I'll have that deep discount, it means that I'll break the channel and the short would trigger. Hopefully it makes sense. All right. You need to understand these aspects. Yeah, indeed, we might create a wider channel and we can get a sort of a seek and destroy pattern. Let me show you. And then we can get back into the short reloads on 61.8. But then that's not the plan that I'm looking for. That's another plan that I'm looking to trade. So if I'm willing to take any trade here on 15 minutes, 15 minutes, let's say, I'll be looking to potentially short a break of the trend line here to the downside, get in a short position. I don't know, let's just exemplify structurally wise what I would like to see. Let's say that we have a bearish market structure shift here. I'll show it to you in a second. So let's say that I get this breakdown and I'm getting in this short. Here, for example, yeah, I'll be looking to get in a long on a different account, stack some longs and short at the same time, take some partial from the shorts and trail the rest, because I always say how I'm doing, because a lot of people, they are saying, well, how do you still have the long from that level from 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago? The idea when you're trading is to, what I do is I take partials and then I keep about 20%, 30% from that position size in order to compensate for the loss when I go counter position myself. For example, if I'm short from here, from the previous month high, let's say, I will keep 20, 30% for the occasion when I'm turning long. And when I'm taking a long here, let's say at the swing failure of this equal lows in the 78.6, then, okay, I'll lose nothing if the price goes up, and the short is still on because the profits from the long are covering, and then I'll make money to the upside. If it goes to the downside and goes belly up, then I'll lose nothing because the loss of this long will be compensated by the profits kept from this short. But without having a plan, you will not be able to make such decisions because your emotions will eat all the profits and you will react based on your emotions and not on your plan. Hopefully makes sense and you understood a thing or two. As for this trend line, you can see we are trading on the other side of the trend line, even this one, if we look at it. And the price is just consolidating on the other side of a trend line. Some people might look, let's be a fast trader and look at this W here. But let me check the sessions because I don't want to go. Yeah, we have an Asia session which swept the New York PM session, which is all right. We have a bullish market structure shift here. I like the fact that we swept the previous session low. That gives me more confidence that the price wants to go to the upside a little bit, but in the same time, I do think that it's short-lived in this area and will most likely reject because we have a bearish market structure shift in going on here. But yeah, I'm on 5 minutes. Yeah, I should zoom out a little bit for people who are not able, but at the end of the day, I'm here to day trade and to make my 1% a day or whatever percent, maybe sometimes not even 0.5, sometimes losses. It is what it is. It's not easy. It's not easy. The previous period has not been easy. And for example, so a lot of people have asked me, how are you drawing your fixed volume profile and anchored volume profiles? For example, you can see we have an intermediate range here at the lows. I'm interested in that area right now? No, because I'm up here. So I'll take all the structure. I'll not take this one. I'll take all the structure which is inside that specific area, and that will be the value area in which I'm interested in. And for example, here you can see we have POC in confluence with golden pocket and a bearish market structure shift. Then if we look back at statistics, you will see that Ethereum loves a lot 78.6. Yeah. So we can presume we have a little breaker here also. We can presume that we can have a pump into this area and I can look for a fast short scalp here. Makes sense? Are you catching up with me? Or have I already lost you? And then we can go to the equal lows, which I was looking forward earlier. Here at 2274, book a 6R, and then I can hold from my short in order to generate profits on both sides. Damn it, sorry, I wanted to post it on VIP. 1 second, because otherwise I'll forget about it. Low time frame, 0.5 risk. All right. Okay. Can you also go over about how you use Ganbox? Yeah, but not now. Let's just finish off this one. Okay. So you can see that everything is fractal, and you can play a 5-minute setup. You zoom out on 1 hour, and then you will you'll see, man, well, look at, he's trading that little range, and from that one you can play the long. I can play the long to the upside here and target previous month high, and this is trading. I mean, taking the stop losses, taking the Uh, taking the profits, it is what it is. All right, so, and here, as I mentioned previously, I will look for a swing short around this area, but it depends a lot on how the market will go on. If I'll be front run or not, it's up to the market. But intra session, I think I can play something like this. I'm looking forward to that one. So I posted that one. Let me go on 9 minutes and then, okay. Also looking for this long here and target the previous month high. Let me pause this one too. Basically, what I want to highlight here is what I do day in, day out in the VIP when I'm live streaming. Each morning I'm just hopping in and looking for my setups. I don't like how candles are structured here. Maybe I'm on the wrong contract, Binance 5 minutes. No, something is squiggly. I mean, these are normal candles. The volume on this one, it's wacky. It's really ugly. You look at them here. This is not something you want to trade here, for example. You see? Absence of candle bodies. I don't know. Maybe a glitch or what the heck. But I know from experience that you don't want to trade those candles. Right now, for example, if I would be to look for a short on Bitcoin on 5 minutes, I don't have yet the reasons. I have the location here. We have some nasty rejections going on. But if I'm looking at the structure, we are still trending on a low time frame, 1 minute, 5 minutes. We are still trending to the upside, and the previous month high, it's below us. So most likely it will take it as support in our case. And then you show me which is the next liquidity pivot point. Yeah, it's to the upside. All right, we have Monday high. And then you will ask me, the question will come, which is absolutely normal. You will ask me, well, if you expect Bitcoin to take Monday high, why are you shorting Ethereum at before taking Monday high? Well, it's a normal question. Let's put it like that. But the fact is that the thing is that most of the times when we are getting an aggressive reversal, it's coming from an SMT. SMT meaning a divergence from Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, Bitcoin will take Monday high, for example, where I will take a short here. PJ also mentioned in the live if you manage to hop in. But indeed, that live stream is not for intraday trading. That live stream, it's more of a high time frame. But the point is that when Bitcoin will take Ethereum, most likely Ethereum won't, and Ethereum will stop somewhere at 78.6. So yeah, I'm willing to take this short. It's a pretty good risk to reward if I manage to, if price manages to push there. So that would be quite a high risk to reward. Even if I'm targeting the previous 4-hour low here, I can frame easily a 4.55 risk to reward trade. But in the same time, we have to look also at this channel. Yeah, you can see for the moment price is trying to hold it both ways. 1 hour, 4 hours, 4 hours, same stuff. We have an ascending structure. You can see we took it as support exactly here. Once again, yeah, recapping what I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. I did saw the channel tapped here. Honestly, I did saw the retest of the order block candle, but I didn't took it because it was front running the 61.8. Yeah, my setups are requiring multiple aspects, not just a trend line and higher low, higher high structure, I'm trading a little bit more complex confluences. Well, Ethereum, hopefully it's clear what I'll take on Ethereum and how I'll trade it. I'm looking for an SFP of either previous week high or somewhere around here, 61.8. Bitcoin, low time frame, I'm looking for this one. Let's go a little bit about Bitcoin on a weekly time frame, because I had lots of questions previously. But I do think it should be clear, honestly. I don't know why there's so much misunderstanding. And just bear with me, I don't know where I have it. God knows, I have too many charts, honestly. There we go, Coinbase it was. So just looking clearly at the levels, we have the previous all-time high, which is acting like a really nice support here, like a key horizontal. Then we have the previous range from 2024. And for the moment, all right, for the moment, we closed all the candles, all the weekly candles below supply, technically, all right? So what do we have? We work with what we have. We don't work with something that we don't have for the moment. Because you might say, but look at the weekly candle now. All right, is this weekly candle closed? No, it's not closed. So do you have a high probability play based on something that is not confirmed? It's really important to understand if something has a confirmation or not for the moment. So by the time that we are live streaming right now, we can see that indeed the candle is trying something, but the previous week told us that we are still in the range. Indeed, this one can break out and tap 84,000 or 81,000, which is this pivot low which I was mentioning earlier. Yes, it can. It can go even to 61.8. Yes, it can. Where it is here. I never said that price cannot do something. Actually, I'm saying exactly the opposite. When people are when timeline is going crazy, I always mention that anything is possible. All right, and I also spoke about this gap. Yeah, in my article which I posted yesterday and Discord on VIP, I did mention that we have a gap between 70,000 and 82,000, which will most likely act like a range. When you have a gap in the volume profile, like here, for example, you will observe that the price will just want to consolidate that specific gap and create price efficiency. We don't have any consolidation inside this gap. We have only impulsive waves, and most likely the price will take its time in order to consolidate this area. All right? Okay. So once again, because I see people already posting requests here, please don't post requests here on charts. Here, go on the link, please, and in the comments, post your chart request on the link that I posted. So go there, in the comments, just say, I don't know, link 4 hours and stuff like that. So I want to finish off with this. For the moment, as long as we are above the 2021 all-time high, there is a probability for the price to go here and create price efficiency inside this volume imbalance. Yeah, also you can see we have a previous impulsive wave and a fair value gap, and price just loves to fill those fair value gaps. Also this monthly fair value gap. Be careful, because once a monthly fair value gap is tapped, look at the previous one, the price tends to go for the other side of liquidity. So if you're trading ICT with buy side liquidity, and sell side liquidity, there is a high probability after we took the pivot high of the candle, which is inside the fair value gap, like this, there is a very high probability for the price to go on the other side, take the liquidity, and then potentially reverse. So exactly the same case like here. Yeah, all the bottoms that I've seen in my years of trading have been or formed, not all, but 90% of them have been formed by taking the lows and taking all the liquidity from them. All right, I'm shy. I don't think so. Let's go on USDT a little bit. Let's go on 12 hours. Some people ask me why I don't think it's a breakdown. Well, a breakdown, we are trading back inside the 2022-2023 range here on USDT dominance. We are above the range from 2025, the monthly W, and we are at the range highs of the previous previous all-time highs, let's call them like that. We have lots of equal highs. So if I'm going back on the 12-hour time frame, we can see that we have a range. I don't like to look at a market in terms of trends and breakouts and stuff like that, and maybe you saw previously why. I'm expecting a tap of 61.8 of golden pocket, somewhere at around 7.2, and then I'm looking for shorts on crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. And then I'm looking for a target at the equal highs, somewhere around here. So that would imply that I'm expecting sort of a big crash. You might call it like that. ES, 15 minutes. Sorry, there you go. I already have a short triggered on ES at 78.6 Fibonacci here. I spoke about it yesterday, and I did saw multiple students of mine mentioned about it, and I was quite happy that they observed the setup. So technically speaking, gap was filled on a low time frame. I don't know about daily, I didn't check it out, but we are in the 78.6 and this trade it's on. Now imagine what will happen if this one will succeed with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I do think they will follow. So I'm willing to take both of these trades. Retest of this week to the downside. The same thing happens with Nasdaq. It's a bit stronger. It had a nice sweep here of the range highs. 1 second. And also, if you look at ES, ES loves to respect channels and trend lines and so on. And look, previously, I really took the time yesterday to analyze how many times we had a V-shaped bottom reversal and how many times we retested that one. And you will see, you will observe that the amount of times we just went back to retest, it's huge, more than 91-92%. So you can do that test too. So when you have a V-shaped rally like that, it will have a retest. Like here, for example, you can see it had a retest. Yeah, and most of the time you will get this retest of that V-shaped pattern in a form or another. So the risk to reward is quite good for a trade like that. I mean, we have 4.7, but what if it goes to 0.5 fib? It will turn out to a 20R trade. All right. So let me go on others. I'll check others now. Well. Who remembers which level I mentioned 1 month ago and if we hit it? And you can see 194. 194 was hit perfectly. We rejected. And in the textbooks, we have an AMD, a bearish AMD. What that could mean? Well, I should ask you because technically speaking, we should go for the range lows. I'm not necessarily I'm not necessarily expecting an expansion towards like 120 billion like 122. These are my next levels, but I'm expecting at least a 78.6. And maybe this can give you an answer to all the altcoins that you are requesting, because if others will do that, I do think they will follow. You can see how many stacked equal lows that we have here. All right. And indeed, Bitcoin might enjoy equal lows and front run them. Ethereum might enjoy equal lows and front run them. So if, let's say, for example, if Bitcoin dumps 2% and it goes to a location at 61.8 golden pocket, altcoins will dump 4% and they will go to 78.6. Like, they will have a deeper discount retracement. And what I'm trying to imply here is the fact that if you see equal lows on altcoins, they are liquidity and they are to be taken. Almost no case in which, like really rare cases in which altcoins, they left lots of equal lows and then just rallied. They have this pattern of an AMD and market maker buy model, all right, where they are making so many swing failures that you will say, damn with this, I'm out. I don't want to see this lower lows. And then you will see a breakout structure to the upside and say, okay, there you go, let's chase. And then it invalidates it again. I think you saw it so many times. So I'm waiting for 158 here and the weekly retest for adding back to my longs on altcoins. Now, if I'm looking at total, yeah, I did mention a lot of times that once the price might get on the other side of the trend line, we might witness a local bottom, let's say. But it might take more time, because here, for example, after we went on the other side, we had from September to November. And now we have from March to May, let's say June. So we can have a little relief in May, June here and tap 640 billion. But I'm speaking on a high time frame. On others, I was on 12 hours. Here I'm on 3 days. So we can have sort of a sell in May and walk away event when we can get a exit liquidity pump into 643 billion. All right. So I do expect a pump. I'm not the ugly grizzly bear out there. All right. I do think let's go to requests. Let me check what Bitcoin is doing. And then I can go to request, chart request. Well, it's doing an M top here. Trying to front run that Monday high. Okay, let's go to requests and see what we have on the comments. Take them one by one. Okay, so I would be very interested in WYX on high time frame chart. Let's see, weeks, maybe on Nasdaq, I think. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, not looking bad. Let's see, monthly. Well, I don't know about these equal lows. Those equal lows in the 88.6 are really, really juicy. Let's see, weekly. It's not yet out of the woods. Well, there might still be room for it to go a little bit to the downside. Like, for example, here, you can see we made a bottom after it passed the other side of the trend line and after it took liquidity. Well, I really like the structure of this one, considering maybe it's not a shit coin, 3 weeks. And even this breaker pivot here. So I like this area. I like it a lot. So wait, I would wait for it at 58, 50, 50, 55, something like that, that SFP. Same as BCRX. Well, an eternal range on this one. An eternal range on this one. When you have ranges like this, you can just look at, yeah, even a fib, or look at the GAN box, and you play deep discount and deep premium areas. All right. What do I mean by that? Deep premium is a good buying opportunity. Deep discount, deep premium is a good selling opportunity. Sorry. Deep discount is a good buying opportunity. Can you check circle? Circle what? Circle from Nice? Or circle USDT? XMR, it was circle? No, that's Monero. Which one was circle, guys? Requests are only to be pointed out on the chats. So not here. On Twitter you put the request. Circle. Ah. Maybe this one? Maybe. Oh. Doesn't look bad. But I don't think this is the whole chart. Can anyone point me out the right one? I don't think I have the right one here. Isn't this the like merit circle or something like that? Yeah, honestly, I cannot work with this chart. I don't have too many aspects. I do have some equal lows here, and this would be a nice area of interest, but I don't have enough structure here. Okay, let's go on Rave. Isn't this the Tommy which was stealing the charts? He charted me. He asked me about, or that's another Tommy, whatever. It would be funny. Maybe it's that one. Well, in order to chart this one, you need to understand what happened here before the pump, because the pump is quite irrelevant structure-wise, and you might want to identify areas before the pump in order to understand where it might stop. So I have these two areas, 32 and 70. Okay, there we go. Man, let's put logarithmic. I cannot. Nah, doesn't. This chart is effed up. Okay. I would wait for these two areas, 97 and 73, and most likely will reject around here at $2. MNT, what's this? MNT. Ah, seems like I'm having a swing long, a weekly swing long on this one. Well, it's trying to do something. You can see I'm looking for a long here. However you might look at it. It's looking all right. On daily time frame, it's trying to hold the structure. It's ranging, meaning the selling pressure is not there anymore, but we don't have any sign of strength out there. Pendle, Monday high sweep, M neckline, what's your opinion? Pendle. I think you want to look on a low time frame, not on a high time frame. Because on a high time frame, you wouldn't speak about the Monday high. Previous month high, previous week high. Yeah, that's a good setup on Pendle because we are below previous month high. Not a bad one. If you get a ride here inside previous month high, then reject. Might be. Well, Bitcoin, I spoke about Bitcoin at the beginning of the live stream. I spoke about Bitcoin, Ethereum, I spoke about majors and so on. I spoke about everyone, every altcoin and asset which I was having on my radar. Bread. Bread. That one is Bert, sorry, I think, which I was laughing about. Bread. Well, we can have a 3 tap here if you want to look it from that perspective, but it's just a range, and I would do the same. I would look to bid somewhere around here in the deep discount and take some partials on the way up. There are some money to be made if you know how to play them, but the invalidation has to be there because the risk is too high. I'm not checking anything, just put it on I'm not checking anything from YouTube. Please put the chart request on X, on Twitter. All right. Would you check SPX? SPX, the classic one. I think this one. Yeah, I know this one. It's quite nice to play. I was having it on my radar, and these daily Ws are quite nice. He's trying to make a weekly W. I know the shitcoin had some steam in the past, but as any shitcoin, I do think that we can get a nice discount. So I would be looking for a 28, 0.28 area. Mask, man, I didn't heard about these altcoins in a long time. Same stuff. It's not looking bad. Well, let's say slightly swept, but I don't like these cases. Mask USDT. Let's go on perpetual. Well, let's say it was swept, and we have a Wyckoff in progress with a spring reaction, quite a nice one. But then we need the LPS, the retest, which would be here at 78.6. So if I would be to bid this one, would be a retracement here in the 42 area and swing failure of the equal lows. That would be the area where I'm looking to bid. SPK, never heard of this one, honestly. Imagine that there are so many shitcoins in this space, and not bad, 10 by 10 week, swept. Wyckoff accumulation in progress. Too many equal lows here. We had a violent, like a really violent rejection here at the highs, which is confirming actually a range. And that makes me think that we can have an AMD in process. Yeah, the requests are to be posted on Twitter post, not on YouTube, please. Don't post requests on YouTube. Hello, good morning. So this ugly rejection tells me that it might want to go for an AMD. I'd say Tao. Tao, my beloved coin. Well, I don't want to say I was right, but no, maybe I was too early here. But if I'd be to hop in Tao in a Tao trade or bag some, yeah, I would trade it. I would only invest under 160. That's my area to bag in some Tao. I would mainly wait for around here for 200 area, even though I can see this trend line, but we can see a trend line deviation market to take some liquidity from that area and then reverse. So I want to see something like this before I'm looking for a long. And anyway, this M top, yeah, I do think we'll retest this 290 zone, but not yet. It's not looking ready yet. US oil, I think I chart US oil on a daily basis. I'm having some alarms here because I do think that US oil will pump once again once we hit 76.9. So I'm waiting with alarm set there to bid. I want to put like 1% risk, 2% risk on that area. Mind if you take a look at XRP on 4 hours? Sure thing. XRP. I do have a trade on XRP, but it stays there for a long time. You can see I have this area, this trade. Man, it's in forever. It already passed 1 month since I have this one. What I did is actually I moved it to spot. Like I put the same risk. Like if you have a position of 50,000 bucks or 20,000 bucks, you can, if you have the liquidity, you can put it on spot and you can avoid the funding and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm still expecting XRP eventually to hit 1.64. So I'm still holding to this trade. It's still looking good. All right. MNT. Yeah, I do think we spoke about this one. Monad. Didn't we spoke about Monad? On USDT, let's check it on Bybit maybe. Well, this looks like a double top deviation here, and it's not looking great, honestly. This area, it's not looking great. 1 second. So I do expect this one to dump further. It doesn't look great. It's looking more like a really an AMD. And look at all these stacked equal lows. Yeah, indeed, it might be a weekly W, but I don't think that we are yet in that specific season where you might want to beat them. Well, I see no more requests. I took mainly the requests from the subs because I want to prioritize them. Now I'll take the other requests. Ethereum 5 USDT. Why I did that? Because I want to, I mean I want to reward them in a way or another and put quality towards it. It looks interesting, this one. We have a bullish market structure shift with a bounce from the equal lows and 78.6. But man, I really don't like taking altcoins on a retest. Altcoins, you either catch the breakout lately or you will play with fire. But technically speaking, and we have a bad rejection from this bearish retest here, but technically speaking, we have a setup ongoing. If would be back like 2 years ago, where market would have acted normal, then this would be a clear setup and target 78.6. Not necessarily acted normal, but respecting the levels and just once it retests a level, hold it. Yeah. But right now it's not the case anymore, honestly. But it looks good. Technically speaking, it looks good. ZEC. I don't know, honestly. I do expect this shitcoin to go back all the way down to 74 bucks. These equal lows, I'm not a big fan of them, so I would rather look at the seek and destroy profile here, where ZEC goes back all the way back here at 180 for the lows, and then I start reloading. You can see we had a deviation here below this pivot high and the big M top. So most likely this was a fake out. Hash bar. Yeah, I was looking at H bar. This looks okay-ish for something like that. But once again, honestly, I did stop playing retests on altcoins because they fail so many times lately, and they just sit in a range more and more and more. But technically wise, we have a setup here. Peeping. You can see I'm waiting for it here at the lows. I have a limit buy order on spot 0.014. Party. What the heck is this? Come on. No, thank you. Maybe only if it takes those equal lows at 0.024, maybe. Otherwise, no, it's looking bad. Check Solana, my beloved Sol. Man, it's looking so ugly. So, we are still holding these 3 drives, macro-wise. We are bullish on the other side of the trend line, so we are consolidating on the other side of the trend line. But then if we look key S&R wise, like horizontals, damn me, that's looking bad. Because we are just consolidating forever under a key resistance area. So even if we get a pump, it should be slight-lived as long as we stay below 95. And then we should expand to the lower side. I do expect, honestly, I do expect Solana to find a local bottom between 45 and 32, this area. So I do think that Solana has some room to go lower. Let's take one more from the sub. Pendle. Well, I ate my stop loss here. That's why I'm saying trendline breakout, they don't play quite well. Because you see, I was looking at the same fractal which we previously had, like W on the other side of trend line, consolidating forever. And now you can say that we have that. Yeah, you can safely say that we have that. So it's a setup. Yeah, it can perform a little bit. Yeah, it will. No one knows. You can just try it and then live with the results. Are you entering Ethereum? What happened? No, it didn't trigger. Why you guys are giving fake alarms? Ah, will trigger. Are you entering at? Well, I posted all the trades and I framed all the trades that I'll be taking. I honestly don't understand the question. Pendle. I think that was the one we spoke about previously. Yeah. Ah, Pendle. No. But we discussed Pendle earlier. Okay. Mog. I see a subscriber asked about Mog. Yes, he's looking fine. He's looking like a round bottom, like an accumulation Wyckoff. You can go with some risk here. I mean, structurally it's looking all right. There we have a W formed, a bottom, looks like a Wyckoff accumulation, but yeah, It's looking all right. This area here at 0.145 is looking all right for a bit. I do think we should have a retracement here, like a retest. Well, I don't want to get the session more than intended. We are already deep into the session, like 1 hour and a half almost. I'm waiting for my trades. I'll wait to see what market has to offer me. What I'm doing when market is hard to trade, I'm lowering the risk. Lower position size. Try to read the context better, understand the entries and the psychology, because a lot of people are having mental breakdowns because when environment is hard, a lot of people are just burning the capital. And when environment is easy, everyone is cheering up, it's going high emotional status, and then when shit hits the fan, they lose everything. So it's really good not to cheer, not to get emotional when you generate profits. Try to be distant from these emotions and just play what you see, all right? Not what you think or whatever anyone thinks. It's really important. The more you keep away those emotions, the better you'll be at trading and you will improve. Yeah, beside what I highlighted, I don't have anything. And I do think we have lots of trades framed and lots of highlighted potential setups. I'll call it a session. I'll see you guys around today in 4 hours from now. Paul will be live at the New York trading session. It will be available for everyone in Discord. So if you are in Discord, well, stay there. Be sure not to do any mistake, because from time to time it's getting cleaned up, and we want to be a tiny community, to put it like that. We don't want more people, but we want high quality members, and that's the most important part for us. Now let's wait to see what market gives us. I repeat once again, market is not easy. It's not easy to trade it, and focus on proper setups and proper risk management if you want to survive this kind of period. Until market gets better, we trade what we have, and we have to adapt accordingly. Thank you very much. See you guys later. Bye bye.